So without further ado, let's bring on Cherice Ellison. Hey girl, how are ya?
Hey, how are you?
Awesome. Okay, what's in your background? Are these paintings that your kiddos have done?
Yes, over there's finger painting, and then that's chalk art right behind me.
Right. Awesome. Well, Cherice Ellison supports you on Support Saturday inside of Preschool All Stars. So she's on our team, and every Saturday you come, 9 a.m. Pacific or 12 Eastern, somewhere in there. Come on over for 2 hours. She does Support Saturday every Saturday in the group. But before that, let's talk about Cherice. What was life like before you found me? What were some of the things that you were struggling with?
Yes, before I found you, or before I decided to really find you,
Right.
I was a director at a child care center. I have been in this field. It'll be like 29 years next May, end of next May, early June.
Yeah.
And I had seen your ad all 2020, and I just kept like, oh, okay, no, like this can't be real. Like I kind of was offended a little bit because I worked in a child care center. So I was like, what do you mean you don't like daycare? Like,
I
because you
hate
need daycare.
daycare.
I'm not daycare. We do curriculum.
Right.
It's
Right.
required.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, so yeah, so I think I saw you pretty much every day in 2020, like,
Yeah.
and multiple times a day when I was on Facebook.
I'm like, Cherice.
Yes. And then I found myself unemployed at the end of 2020. And
Mm,
then fast forward a little bit to January, end of January, beginning February of 21 is when I
mhm.
really saw the ad and was like, hello. God was like, hello, I've been telling you this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
And so I joined the free group, got the book, joined the free group.
right.
And the rest in the way is kind of history. I started out online, and then your breakdown to break free, you talked me into my preschool in my house.
And I wanna share my little, because 'cause I'm now part of your story in this. I love it. I guess technically I'm in a lot of stories, but this is like a special story because I remember we were having like a 3-hour session or something, or maybe this was the retreat. I don't know, but one of them, we were talking and you were like, "I really wanna have a local preschool because um, it's where my heart is, but like I have this beautiful pit bull and I just don't know, and my home is a little bit small. I just don't know how it's going to work for me." And I was like, "No, no, no. Breakthrough. And like you can do it, and this is how you can do it." And what I love though, Cherice, about you is I've said these things so many times to other people and they don't break through, right? It's like
Right.
it doesn't matter what I said to them, even though it's truth, they still are stuck in their mindset. But you were like, okay, well, now there's hope. Now there's a possibility. And then you took that and you ran with it. So share with everybody, like, now that it was a possibility that you could start now your local preschool, walk us through how that felt though, because you were a director before. Had you ever had your own preschool? Had you ever run your own preschool before?
No, I hadn't. Except for like one corporate, you kind of are the owner at a
Sure.
corporate center,
Right.
even though you're the director, but you run it
Yeah.
like you're the owner. That's kind of how they set things up.
Yeah.
But I'm not the boss. I don't make the rules.
Or starting it from scratch, making
Right.
a business, right? Doing all
Yes.
the enrollment from scratch. Yeah.
Yes. And so, like, once I got through, because, originally too, I also had put my preschool dream on like a pedestal. Like, I thought I would never be able to do it, that it was going to cost way too much,
Mhm.
everything. I have a pit bull. My house is too small. This is not the
Yeah.
dream that I had when I was in fifth grade of owning my own preschool,
Yeah.
all the things, And you kind of just like every time I said something, you were like, you came back with something else. Like, nope, 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 nope. You can, what about this? What about that? What about, I'm like, okay. And then for me, it was just like, why not? It got to the point where I was like, why not try? You
Yeah.
know, you don't know what you don't know until you try sometimes,
Mm.
like,
Right.
what if I fly? That whole saying, like, I can't fly, but what if you do?
Yep.
And I started like pretty much right after that. And it kind of just like snowballed slowly.
Mhm.
I started out with one family like this month is
Yeah.
actually 2 years ago this month. I started in my in-home. I started with
Wow.
one. By I think December of that year, I had two. And then I ended the school year with three. And at that time, I also had my online. So I had a total of like
Right.
6 children altogether,
Mhm. Yeah.
between online and local. So, but ugh.
So let's just go there for a second. Now, I know the dream on your heart, but we're not going to share that one yet. The real big exciting dream. Let's pause on that because I do want that to come out. But what's really interesting, and this is why I love bringing everyone on to talk about their story, because I have loved seeing the evolution of everyone's stories. Some like gangbusters, like 7 students, during our challenge. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I have a preschool now. Holy cow, this is crazy. Or it's like, or they put out their marketing and, in 2 months they have 48 kids. And it's like, whoa, it's real, right? And then there's other stories that are like a slow burn where it's like, I got my one student, right? And you were holding on to and supporting and loving and pouring into this one student. And we were, of course, in All Stars, we're like freaking rooting for you. We're like, Cherice, you've got your student. Like, this is the beginning. But now seeing where you want to go, what's really crazy is like, had you put this big dream of, and I want you to share your dream in just a second, but like, had you put that as like, this is the thing I have to do first, and I won't do online preschool and I won't do local preschool because my home's too small or whatever, I can only do this big dream. I don't know if maybe it would have happened like that, because sometimes I feel like we have to qualify ourselves up to the big dream. And sometimes it's in the times of doing online preschool because that's what worked for you at the time, getting that first student, and then a next month getting a second student. And but I would say you are so far more ahead now, having walked this walk for a couple years, to qualify yourself for this giant dream that you have in your heart. So now I want you to share this big passion of like, where do you want to go with your preschool program? What's the dream that you foresee?
Yes, the first, before I say that, is like,
Yeah.
one of the ahas I had coming into this school year was that how much I have grown over the 2 years. Sometimes we get so stuck on where we want to be, we
Yep.
don't appreciate where we currently are, and that
Mm.
we've grown and that we're further along than we were. Because
Yep.
I started with 1, and then I started, the school year last year with, 3. This year I started with 7 students,
Yeah.
locally, and I was like, oh, you have come a long way. You're not, all my
Right.
spots aren't full, but yet I'm not where I was, 2
Yep.
years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But my goal is to own a local, there's some land and I can probably build to suit. And so it's going to be more than a preschool because that's what my
Yeah.
area needs.
Yeah.
But I will probably have a couple rooms that will be geared to a preschool, still running it the same way I kind of do in my
Yeah.
house.
Uh-huh.
But yes, I will be probably 12 classroom building.
Oh, girl. You're going to follow Quinn's footsteps and Anita's footsteps. They're leading the way for you to be right there with them.
Yes, yes. So that is my ultimate dream. And I kind of have downloads. The Lord's kind of downloaded some things, like a year ago, I think, of things that, I want to do. And so I'm super excited, super nervous, because it's, even though I own a preschool still, but that's bigger. That's so much bigger than the in-home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is, but here's what I love. You have been building this know, like, trust factor. You've been building the testimonials. You've been building the relationships with your parents for them to support you this whole time. And you've been building yourself, most importantly. So let's speak to that, because some of the women who are currently going through this, I mean, it's a process. Like, we didn't just jump in and day one, we're like a business owner and we know all the answers and we totally got it figured out. Like, there's all these doubts in our head and there's all these questions of like, can I really do this? Could you speak to them for a minute about like
Yes.
pouring into their heart at this moment?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Because this is day 3, and this was obviously the hardest day. And I remember the first time, and I did this challenge the first time by myself. Probably because I had no idea All Stars was going to be opening up in April. I did it, and I didn't do it in 7 days. I started it like in mid-February,
Yeah.
all the way through March, because I was reading the book and doing the challenge.
Right. Yeah.
But I think I remember saying this before, is that this challenge in a way is not really about the students.
Mm.
The students is the bonus. It's like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
This challenge is about you and getting yourself together, getting yourself mindset, getting to know what it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
It's also about putting yourself out there, because a lot of us are scared about putting ourselves out there. We feel like we're not good enough. We're not,
Yeah.
I don't know enough. I'm not worthy, all these different things, but at the same time, if you've been teaching or you love children or this, you already have it in you. It's just a point of you realizing in yourself, believing in yourself that you can do it. And realizing that 9 times out of 10, we're our worst critics, and that we get in our own way. And so you have to realize that you have to get out of your own way and that you can do it, and that it's going to take small steps. Yeah, you may not be at that building the first time, but it may take a few years to get there, and that's okay. And it's just a point of taking the steps, eating that elephant, one bite at a time, and eating that frog bite, conquering the frog, and doing it, and realizing that you have a support team in All Stars to be able to help you through it. Hello, Support Saturday.
Serious,
I help a lot of women through and talk things through. We do all things preschool at Support Saturday. So, we cannot get stuck. I've gotten stuck. I've gone through a little bit of a slump, because I can see it. I can see the dream right there. And yet I'm here, but I want to be there. And so, but the thing is, you have to realize that it's all a process and it takes time and to truly just believe in yourself, and you can do it. You really can do it. I mean, Joy lays it all out there, for you. Just follow the steps. And you always see me too. Make sure you follow the steps.
I know. What this question that you're asking, I can know exactly what page it's answered on this guide in this lesson.
Yes, I know. I used to do that in the free group before I became an all-star.
Right? Yeah. Well, let me talk about this too, because as you go through setting up your business and learning how to teach preschool and marketing and finally getting students and all that stuff, that's cool. I mean, that's like all the steps, that's what we teach, the business steps, the marketing, the teaching, we teach all of that. But there's what's really interesting, and this is what we've discovered over the last 3 years as I've been teaching women how to start preschools, is parallel roads. As you build your business, okay, we see 2 parallel roads. Here we go. As you build your business, guess what's happening though? You have to build yourself along the way the same way, right? Because what happens if you start building your business, you will start hitting roadblocks and the ends of your comfort zone. And your mind will be like, we don't do this. We don't market ourselves. We don't put ourselves out there. We don't teach preschool. We don't did it. And you'll put yourself back. So we have to build you up along the way. And that's what we do in Preschool All Stars. So Cherice, I want you to look back on your journey over the past couple of years and speak to that, about how through everything you've learned and grown in Preschool All Stars, why is it important to build you, and how do we build women in Preschool All Stars?
Okay, that's a loaded question.
Or speak about your journey or your thoughts.
Yeah. It's definitely a process, because you are going to have times where it's going to be difficult. You're going to run into roadblocks. And the thing is about the roadblocks, they're there. I believe roadblocks are there for a purpose. They're there to help you grow. I always go back to the fact of how, pearls are made, and how, plants are, seeds and pearl and diamonds. They all become beautiful under pressure.
Wow.
They all become who they're meant to be under pressure, and so when you're starting to feel that pressure, guess what? You're getting ready to grow.
Yep.
And so if you stop before, because, it's too painful, I can't do it. We would not have diamonds. We would not have pearls. We would not have flowers. We would not have trees, because it's painful. It's painful when we're growing, so when you're starting to feel like it's too hard, that's when you realize, oh my gosh, I'm getting ready to level up.
Yep.
That's the next thing, is I'm getting ready to level up. I'm right now getting ready to level up. It's getting hard. I'm feeling pressure. I'm feeling it all the things.
Yep.
Because
Lean
I know
in,
season's coming. My next season's coming. And if I was to stop now, I'm never going to be where I want to be. If you were to stop now, if you're right now today, if you're already feeling the pressure, guess what? You're getting ready to level up. If you stop now, you're not going to level up, and you're going to continue to be in the same cycle you were before.
Love that.
So you kind of have to just move forward and feel the fear and do it anyways, and then you're like, sometimes it'll be like, that wasn't that bad after all. And sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just came through that. Thank God I came through.
Oh, that's awesome. And Cherice, as we close this off here, obviously, if there's any woman that's on the fence about joining Preschool All Stars, and of course, joining you for Support Saturday, what would you like to say to her?
I would say just do it. I mean, Nike says it well. Sometimes some of those quotes are really good just to repeat.
Right?
It's just really to just do it. You don't
Hmm.
know what you don't know until you do it sometimes, and you have the support. You have I have to say, I have met some great friends in Preschool All Stars, like
Yeah.
some best friends in Preschool All Stars. I've gotten my business and I've gotten great friends that I would have never met if I didn't get off the fence.
Hmm.
That I'm able to call up and do this business with. Like, hey, I have this question, or hey, I'm doing this, or vice versa. They can call me and like, hey, I'm experiencing this,
Yeah.
and so we're here for you. If and like also too, if your heart is pumping, that means that you're supposed to join. If you're feeling nervous and scared and like, oh my gosh, then guess what? When the
Yep.
23rd comes around, I expect you to jump in and I expect you for me to be welcoming you in on a post in support stat. I mean, in All Stars. Like,
Absolutely.
feel the fear and do it anyways. You
That's
have to.
awesome. There you go. Out of Sharice's mouth, she's got it. All right, Cherice, I appreciate you. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye.